collaborative is that you to grab a friend, you can use our props, and let's say you teach her, you put her on, we'll do 8, a little bit more, okay? You will put her in 8 postures, and you will snap a picture. You will put that picture in some sort of document, a Google Drive or Word document, whatever, and then you will put the Sanskrit name, benefits and cautions of 8 poses. And you're more than welcome to come here to do that, but that will be a homework, not during the teaching practice.
So you're gonna put that on the...
That's for you. That's your homework for you, and I will just, what I'm going to be looking at that homework is the props. You know, you're missing the belt, you're missing the blanket, he's twisted here, you know, because in restorative is all about the props. Right?
So you want it at 8?
We don't want to take the bolster.
Huh?
You want my blanket and pillow? You take a pillow.
No, you can come here, and if you don't want to stay here longer, you can bring the props home with you.
Okay.
Wash it and bring it back.
Do we have to put it in a Google Doc, or can we just take a photo and then write the benefits cautions in a book?
No, you gotta have a document.
Like a PowerPoint? Like a PowerPoint?
Whatever you like. Word doc, yeah. You just paste the picture in the Word doc and you write below, yeah. I mean, you can even print the picture in Walgreens and put it in your notebook and write with your handwriting. I don't care how you do it. Yeah, because you want to combine. You want to see the image, the name, benefit, and caution of 8. Yeah, and then try to 8 because that would be like that would be like a little class, right? And then again, you don't need to do 8 in Sukhasana, trying to do some sitting, some standing, some in the wall, maybe some with a chair, right? So you have a little bit.
When we teach a class, eventually, like I said, we have to kind of still follow the sequence. You can just do back and forth, or obviously the opening.
Yeah, you will do as you like, to be honest, but you want to follow some, like, okay, you were sitting, now you're standing. If you're standing, you can use the wall of the chair, now back to sitting, and then...
You're not going to go up and down.
Yeah, you're not going to go up and down, yeah, that's true. Yeah, trying to draw a little bit of your sequence there. So let's go back to the chakras and finish them. So let's do a little bit of a recap of the class so that we know what we said yesterday. So we said that these yogis, they got downloads in their deep meditation, and they were able to tap into the ultimate truth of the universe, of everything, and they realized that we only use our 10% of our potential, that the 90% is sleeping. They call that Kundalini Shakti, sitting on the bottom of your pelvis. They realize that the energy is spread out through nadis, and we have 72,000 pathways. From those 72,000, we have 3 major ones. Pingala on the right, which is the solar, hot, masculine. Ida on the left, the moon, cooling, feminine. Shushuma on the middle. And they also realized that we have centers of energy, smaller, called marmas, and bigger, called chakras. And they're on the spine. They're like wheels of energy with like a vortex that goes from the front and back. And they have different colors. Yantra is the symbol, like the geometric representations, symbol, really. you can meditate on them as well to activate them. And they represent different elements. And well, we said that because they're energy wheels, they can spin clockwise. Well, when they say they're well balanced, kind of in the positive moving forward, sometimes they have a stagnation, like it's just like not moving, or the other way around. They are maybe working in a negative flow and there's like spinning to the opposite. Like let's say Manipura represents courage, the other side would be fear, right? Let's say, I don't know, the Muladhara is feeling grounded and security, the other side will be feeling that you don't belong, that you are insecure, and you don't have your survival needs, right? You don't know how you're going to pay rent or your phone, and that gives you insecurity. If you feel, and that Muladhara is the first chakra, the root and the earth, and if you feel insecure there, you most likely will not be able to practice a lot of meditation because you will have worries, right? How you're going to blank up your mind and you're like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to, get to my food and shelter. So let's just move forward. If you guys have any questions about, we have seen the Muladhara, which is, again, the first one, the earth. Then we saw Savadhisthana, which is the water element on the sexual organs, on your pelvis. And we saw the fire, Manipura, 2 fingers above the navel. And we also mentioned that that represents a bottom triangle pointing down, which is basically the animal instincts that all animals use, right? They want to find their territory, which will be Manipura, the power, and then they looking for survival, where they're going to eat and sleep and eating garbage from the street. And then they found any doggy and they just want to have sex. Any doggy at all. Doesn't matter. Oh, you're female, good, come. So a lot of humans act like animals, right? And that will be a degradation of your species. You're not an animal. You're, even though maybe some people say that we come from the monkey, we're here to evolve in our species. That's why we do have other chakras. We also mentioned in other lineages like Tibetan, they might have more than 7 chakras, or the other way around. Actually, they have also 5 chakras, and another lineage have 12 chakras. So it has a little bit of difference on the different lineages about that, and also according to who experienced the chakras, they will have some difference on the colors and on the sound, right? So just to let you know that nothing is like set on the stone, has like a little bit of difference there. Here I put, this is a poster from Universal Yoga, so you have a little bit Muladhara, the symbol, the element, Ram, the sound, red, and then he put the Rasha. The Rasha is like the frequency or the energy that is transmitting. So he put materialism, endurance, again, having your survival needs, biohealth, and so on. So definitely to take in consideration. But let's go a little bit higher then. So now, after the 3 bottom chakras, we come to our higher chakras. And starts with the heart center. That's called Anahata. It's represented by the green color and is the element air. So sometimes I ask the students to visualize a green forest of pure air, and if you ever being in nature, sometimes all you can see is like that waves of green, pure, pristine forest. So you can connect a little bit with that energy. And some people say that the dogs have anahata, and I believe so. Talking about the animal realm, the dogs, for example, they're not like an alligator, right? They can express so much love and, like, unconditional love. So just wanted to maybe make a little difference about that. Not my cat. My cat is not just unconditional love all the time. It's a little bit more convenient. Not now. But anahata is related to the unconditional love, which is easy to say and hard to do, because that means that you're going to love the other person without any type of expectations, or basically, I love you if you do this for me, conditions, right? And so, again, it's very easy to kind of like, I love all, but when it comes to the reality, would you love the rapist that raped your sister? Will you love that person as well, right? I don't know. It would be a little more test. Will you love your boyfriend, husband, if he is going to maybe have other partners and sleep with other people at the same way? Can you, be okay with that, right? If it's no conditions, right? So, so it goes to those levels when, we got, trigger point, like, well, I don't know about that. I love you until that part. So,
But we set boundaries, right?
I'm
Is that
sorry?
like we're set? It's like my sister's psychotherapist, so she says you basically set healthy boundaries. That's what you call them.
Right, healthy boundaries. Yeah, but your boundaries will be, maybe oppressing or suppressing of certain things. It's not easy. Like I said, love without conditions is not easy to practice, because we have been conditioned for certain things. And at the same time, Andre Lapa says that most common love is just a business negotiation. I love if you provide for my family, or you have illusion. Let's say your ideal partner needs to have these 10 qualities, right? It needs to be loyal, it needs to be fit, it needs to have financial security, it needs to be caring, demonstrate love, let's say, and needs to want a family, so on and so forth. And then you got together with the person because this list that you have in your mind, right? And after 3 years, that list changed. He went bankruptcy, so he doesn't no longer can afford your trips, your clothes, and you might even need to stand up and now start paying the bills. Now you love him a little bit less, because now you don't have that list that you envision that was how you are in love. And then he's like, well, I don't really want to have kids because I'm already bankruptcy, how am I going to have a kid? And then you love a little bit less. And then, we've been together for like 5 years. What about if we experiment with other people? You still will be my main one, but I just want to be free to, have other encounters and still be completely transparent and loyal to our connection. And that's why I'm telling you. And then it goes all the way down. So you lost 5 of the 10 things of the boundaries that you were created in your mind that means love to you, and then it's not like that, right? So yeah, it's a little bit tricky. I do believe that, of course, the boundaries are important to be there, but this is a type of overflow of love. Like you really love the person no matter what, no matter what, and not the person, like everyone, right? And that's when this type of love will basically pacify the ego. You gotta be above the ego, because the ego always wanna take possession and credits, and this is my husband, and this is my daughter, and this is my car, and this is right, and that's also an illusion, right? That's also an illusion. So, right? So it gets really tricky.
So it seems like you're talking about a very spiritual kind of love, right? It's like, because it's straight from God. Like,
Right.
It's like the same love that God has for everything,
Yes.
everyone in that creation is that. And so to be human, well, since we're in these bodies with apparent limitations and apparent differences, it seems to me, that we need to have that, like just acknowledge that we're operating on different levels of reality at different times. So like we can experience that spiritual love for everybody and all beings when we're deep in meditation and invite forgiveness even for the most horrible things. Because we understand on some level the oneness behind all of that. But then at the same time, in our humanness and our emotions and our realities and stuff, it is important to have boundaries.
Of course.
So it's just, so it seems to me it's like
tricky.
that. It's just like acknowledging that as spirit in human form, or however you want to put it, we function at different levels at different times. And then, because we don't want to start judging ourselves and being like, oh, well, you should have just let him do whatever he wanted because he wanted it, and so what?
Right.
And like, I'm not a spiritual person anymore. It's like,
No.
There's ahimsa. So yeah,
Right.
it's like, okay, this is this level of reality, I'm going to have boundaries. But when I'm deepest in my meditation, I'm going to let it all be one.
Right. No, it is a very trick field. It's a very fine line about that unconditional love, that your love is just basically like uniform, like just like the sun shines to all creatures. You're allowed to be in the same way, regardless of if they love you back. So you love the other person, but it's the love without expectations, it's the love without notifications, it's a love that doesn't expect recognition. So it's very, humbling in a way, and it's very hard to do. It's not easy to accomplish. And even let's say you're married and with so much love, you cook that meal, the best meal every day there, and then you never get a thanks or what a beautiful meal. And then maybe, after some time you will be like, I would like to get, recognized and again, so it's very, very tricky. I have an example. This was like super outstanding. In Brazil was this horrible case where a couple, boyfriend and girlfriend, very young, under 20s. The boyfriend had a jealous attack. They thought that the girl was like cheating on him, and she really wasn't. But he just went blind on it, and they have a fight, and he cut her in pieces, chop her. And they were very young, under 20s, and then it was so bloody and so horrible. I mean, like, of course, he had mental issues to go to that level. And one thing is like shoot someone, but I think it's like So of course something, I don't know, possess him or whatever. But anyhow, the whole country was like, wow, that's so ugly, right? Such a young couple, and everything looked so fine as well, right? They were in love and all that. And so they took him to jail, of course, I don't know, life sentence or whatever, forever there. And the most crazy of everything, the whole country was like, oh my God, the mother of the girl forgive the killer and start visiting him in jail.
Oh wow.
Oh wow. So the whole country, I'm not saying myself, everyone was like, wow, how can you even do that? How can you that? How can possibly? And she told the TV, she said, well, you know what? I already lost my daughter. She's gone. Nothing I can do to get her back. But I can maybe help his soul still. I can maybe, and the guy did redeem himself. He just basically said that he had like some sort of psychotic blackout. And when he realized he already had cut her. And so she started visiting this guy in jail, and say, I will love him like he's my own son, and maybe I can help his soul to redeem, and maybe next life he will, be a better person. Now,
Wow.
like I said, it's very, very delicate to get to that point and very enlightened, but if you look up to any type of enlightened masters, they are also promoting this type of love. Like, love your enemies, love who hurt you. That and then you gotta really put an effort to expand your love at that level. So I'm not saying this any easy. I am totally agree with you that here we are in this limited human form. It's just one of the ways that the enlightened beings, like Jesus was tortured, beat up, naked, in front of whole town, hanging the cross, and he still came down of the cross, reborn, and love everyone. Jesus is a great example that he got enlightened through anahata. He got like unconditional love for the whole humanity. Again, we're not Jesus, but we want to inspire to absorb a glimpse of those qualities. So yogis want to try to, reincarnate or embrace, and the same thing with Buddha, like who practice Buddhism. You want to become, the Buddhahood. You want to become that Buddha. You want to awaken the Buddha on you. So, and also Buddhism is all about compassion and forgiveness.
I mean, the Dalai Lama right now with Tibet.
Yeah, exactly. So it has, we gotta go beyond that form and really, really go deep in there and practice love when it's very easy to love your own bloodline, your sister, your daughter, your husband, your this, your that. But can you love at the same level a homeless? Can you serve the same way that you will serve your husband, a homeless, dirty in the street? Because this is the type of love that, we want to, in a way, open up in the heart, Like the Mother Teresa ashram, when I said that when you go there and it's like, wow, so harsh into the eyes, everyone is like so sick, and these beautiful nuns are just serving their karma yoga and cleaning, taking care of the sick without any type of regret or sorrow or so yeah, it's like a very much lifetime work, but in our kind of like more materialist world, you just trying to practice more santosha and more contentment and kindness and forgiveness at your own capacity. I'm not going to tell you, if someone kills someone in your family, go there and love them. That would be almost unrealistic, let's say. But you can say, well, practice forgiveness as much. Because if you hold grudges, who's going to hold the grudges? Is the killer? No, it's you. That sour poison, the poison of you make me lose someone is always for you. They're not even, I don't even know, right? So,
Marshall Rosenberg had a way of, he's the guy who developed nonviolent communication, and he called it protective use of force. So it's like, if someone is going to hurt you in some way, you can stop them.
Right.
You don't need to just let them do whatever they want because you're loving them and this is what they want to do.
self-love.
Because you practice self-love, but you do it in such a way that you understand that they're trying to meet a need right now and they don't know a better way in this moment to meet this need. So you still have compassion for them and you do what you need to protect yourself. So it's instead of like hating them for what they're doing, you're like feeling compassion for them and you're just like
Protect yourself.
protecting yourself.
Yeah.
So it's a very different energy than like
That, yeah.
coming back and attacking and judging and hating. And
Right. Yeah, for sure. So self-love is always the first to love. If you don't have love for yourself, most likely you cannot pour love to other people. So that's,
Yes.
when we always start with us, and whatever is happening inside here is going to be a reflection of the outer in a way. I think mothers got very tricky with that because they lose their identity of individual person, and once the child is born, it's all about the child, serving the child, nourishing the child, feeding the child, taking care of the child, educating the child, and what about them? So it has a little bit of, we see this very often, a lot of moms, they go through some, phase where they got very drained. And again, we're trying to okay, you can love everyone, but you also need to have that love for yourself and do create the boundaries when let's say you have a nanny once a week, you have an aunt that can come, whatever, and help you so you can have your individual time and space. But according to Andre Lapa, you can become enlightened through this Anahata chakra in this lifetime. You're supposed to have 1,000 days of kind thoughts. So, it's around 3 years where you're not going to have not one harmful thought, all loving thoughts. So that's one way that he mentioned that you can open up your heart to this major levels, let's say. All you think is kindness, do good for the others, service, loving, understanding, and the boundaries are correct, again, because if I allow someone to hurt me, that means that I'm breaking the love for myself. And we can see in the Bhagavad Gita has God, Krishna is telling Arjuna, go and fight. So I had some students say how God is killing people and so bloody, and of course the reincarnation comes with that subject as well. But it's about Arjuna need to bring peace into the kingdom, and then of course sometimes you need to have that strong position to not allow everything become upside down. And so so even God is giving us that same command, you gotta go and stop the evil to be able to bring peace back into that. But I would say here, we really want to work on forgiveness, because that's one of the ways that we allow the heart to flourish. And if you feel like you don't have anything to forgive, it's because most likely you're in denial in a way, unless you have a perfect life, which I also doubt it. But most people have some forgiveness to do, so you might want to just dig deep and be with yourself and see where is that hiding. Because if it is hiding, it's definitely going to show up in your life somehow. And if you have grudges of any kind, of any source, that's not going to allow this anahata to open up, you know. So this is the ability to again to be more loving as much as possible, but again, not just with your direct family. You're really going to expand the love. And sometimes when we go to some more spiritual environments, I mean, you know, actually one of this girl that I don't see this girl for like, I don't know, 2 years. She brought me some Hindu saris and stuff from India, and I was busy and she left it outside, and she just called me sister. And it's been like 2-3 years that I don't see her, you know. So like, hi sister, I drop you all this stuff. So, you know, a little bit of that capacity to see everyone. You're my sister, you're my brother, you're my family, right? And so also with the animals are also part of our planet Earth family. And don't see a separation of them, you know, like really expand your love to other people beyond your own family and beyond the human form. Why can't we not love the beach and the forest in the same way that I, you know, will love my sister? You know, so being, you know, present. Every time I go to the beach, I pick up the garbage, you know. It's like an autopilot, like, you know, I don't take pictures of it, and here again with the bags of garbage, and, you know, you do what you can. But again, you know, practicing, you know, acceptance. You know, if you are with someone romantically and you are great and things are great, I feel like each of 10 years it can be a shift, because you're not even the same person that you were, that you maybe were in love and everything was great, but then in 10 years is a long time, you know. Now you have a different person next to you. You know what I mean? Like a different mutation. And so, you know, if you have come to a separation, always, you know, based on love and based on friendship, and now like clinking to, no, you gotta be mine, and you know, you belong to me, and that kind of attachment. Like, if you want to go, and I'll be here, and I wish you the best. And if you want to come back, maybe, you know, I'll be here too. I don't know, maybe not. But you know, no grudges, not like you know, like that anger feeling of like, you know, how can you not love me the same way I love you, and all those are always those expectations. Expecting the person to love the way that you love is always going to set up yourself for suffering. It's like a perfect formula for suffering. You just always love because you want to love, you want to pour love, you want to serve the food, you want to express love, you know, your energy, your smell, poetry, but you don't do it and expect the person to tell you back, because then you're going to get that slap on the face, you know. And I feel like if you start embracing this more, then yeah, you will practice more detachment. It's more like a neutral love. It's like a more calm love. It's not so passionate, you know, when we are like, I don't know, 15 or things like that. It's like everything's so emotional, you know, and it's like, but then again, everything that goes up crashes. So it's a more neutral love, you know. I love regardless. If you are married with me, I love you. If you're not married with me, I still love you the same, you know. And like someone hurts you unconsciously, like trying to see that, you know, they probably have some traumas, they probably have some hurt, they probably have lack of love as a child themselves, and forgive them, you know. I wish you well. I wish that you don't repeat this incorrect behavior you did to me, to other people, you know, like. And again, you know, in the moment of the thing, it can be tricky, you know. I remember my mom, she brought a friend of my stepdad. I don't even know who that guy was, I really don't remember. But the guy was kind of lost, and she's like, well, you don't have where to sleep? no problem. You can sleep on the couch, you know, you don't have where to sleep, you don't have what to eat, you don't have money, you don't have a job, we'll help you out. But this guy stayed in my family house for a good 2-3 months. And after that, he stole all my mom's savings. And there was like, I don't know, $2,000, you know, back in Brazil, like, you know, money is like different currency than here. And, you know, of course, my mom was so upset. But at the same time, she quickly let go. She was like, man, I can't believe this happened. And she was more worried about us that we were children, you know, but you know, it's always a lesson behind. There's always a lesson behind, and if you go into the grudges, into the anger, into the cursing, it's just going to make you more sick of the event in itself. So it's better to comprehend that that person was coming already. Again, probably, you know, their background or something lead them to have an episode like that, and it's probably not even, you know, something that they're consciously understanding how incorrect that is, you know. So compassion, forgiveness, this is when we start seeing that the yoga practice or the asanas or the pranayama actually is having an effect in your life. When things brush you, you don't get so like, so taking things so personal, you know, attack me and me. It's never about you. It's actually they're going through their thing and you happen to be there. You happen to be there and you get, you know, a little bit of that karma wave. So yeah, you know, just trying to keep that in mind. And the sound here is yum. I say like yum, like yummy. Yum. And it's because it's on the chest, so it's going to be anything that is open up your chest. So cobra pose, bhujangasana, urdhva dhanurasana, the full bridge, fish pose when you bring the head back, camel pose when you grab your ankles and you spread your chest up. And what I said to you is like if you want to mingle together yoga therapy, like psychology a little bit, and the asanas, this is really good. You know, sometimes I say you hold the camel pose and you talk about how important is forgiveness. Forgiveness, it frees you. Like if you want to overcome your traumas, and we all have traumas, most of us, a certain level, some more than others, some has a collection of traumas, some has one deep trauma, but most of people have something that, you know, so then that's the chance, okay, your heart is wide open, you know, release that, forgive that, you know, and it's not easy, and sometimes it takes up your whole life to go through it. I'm telling you from my own experience, you know. I have crazy stuff happening with me when I was a child, and you feel like, okay, I think I worked this enough. And then all of a sudden it pops again, you know. And now you gotta, just like a little child, you gotta go back and allow, let me see how can I, you know, bring this pain into surface and practice forgiveness again and go back to that practice. And you know, but ultimately when you start really opening that heart, that anahata, everything becomes part of your own family. Everyone is your family, all the animals are your family, everything is just a sensation of oneness, and it's really beautiful, you know. I mean, some people might look at you like you're crazy, but I definitely, I even talk to insects, you know, saying, Roach, you know, we already had this conversation. You know, you're crossing my boundaries here. I love you, and I love your kids too. Can you guys just move to the outside the building? I keep a little breath. I have a whole, you know, loving communication with the roach. And then, of course, if she crossed the boundary, I'm like, I told you so. I'm sorry, but you're not climbing on top of the bread there. But, you know.
So wait, in the end,
No, I try to grab them with a napkin or something, but yeah, if it's in top of
Or if there's lots and lots and lots.
you know.
So I don't mind trying to get them out. Sometimes if they overrun.
Exactly, boundaries. Yeah, if you see Atman in every living creature, and I do a prayer. I'm saying, I'm so sorry, but I gotta kill you because you're not getting the message, okay? The next life you come as a horse. The next life you will be my doggy. Like trying to put a prayer there so they can have some type of evolution there. But yeah, but just try to practice this about, in general about relationships, all I can say that everything is temporal. Don't get so attached, my boyfriend, my husband, my this, because just leave everything free and just, allow yourself to love the moment and that's, no attachments. And what else we can say about here? Well, we already talked about self-love. So let's just move forward. Then the fifth chakra here is Vishuddhi or Vishuddha chakra. This is how you download information and express information, communication. So the ability to express, the mantra is hum with an H, is on the throat. I usually say blue color, sky blue. The element is ether. And you have the thyroid here as well. In the anahata you have the thymus, which is responsible for your immune system. And so this is how you're going to express and receive information, like I just said. So we gotta be careful on, of course, not lying, right? That makes common sense. Finding kind words to express your truth is important. You don't wanna hurt others with your speech. Cursing, yelling, I think it's also this balance of the center. Non-speaking, that's another disbalance, stagnation. Like you just mute yourself. And that happens a lot, again, in family situations or religious environments when you kind of like, you don't even say anything to be polite, too polite. Too nice. So yeah, it's better to allow yourself to cool down your emotions before you speak, because if you speak on the nerve of the emotions, things will not come up in the way that they're supposed to. And have a clear communication. Actually, I was talking about that as well the other day. I think now the electronics tend to mess up a lot of the communication, especially if you're going to text message. Oh my God. So bad. So if you want to talk to someone, I was going to say hate. I don't hate nothing. I just like people that maybe say, so how are you doing? In the text message, let me start. Let me just write a whole book here, and my grandmother show up from the death, and I don't know what to tell you. So, I think the best would be like, what about, can we make a phone call, even a video call, it will be more warm. When is a good time to talk, right? That would be a best approach. Or let's meet up. I have so much to tell you, right? So that would be more.
They're like, oh, I never really meant it.
I just was trying to be.
No, just be polite.
Just be polite. Okay, fine. No, forget about it then, But yeah, so how we express ourselves, and again, it can be also the gunas you can see here. Like if you don't talk, if you shut down your speech, that will be like a tamasic dense energy. If you're in the rajas, like I have a lot of that I always need to be monitoring myself. Out of the sudden, you're like talking too much. If you do like right now, I'm talking too much. That I don't talk at all, and I get even sometimes a little bit upset if someone makes me talk after I talk here, because I just cannot. And if you do sales work, let's say you're talking all day long on the phone, you definitely want to find some time to practice what we call mona. Mona in yoga is a fast of silence. And that has a major one called vipassana. When you don't talk at all, you don't talk, you don't read, you don't do asanas, you just stay with yourself for like 7 days-ish, 10 days, yeah. So that's something to do still. I was going to do it, but then they're like, you need to be Bosnian. I'm like, all right, I'll call you in a couple years.
They take that away.
You just get a little card and say that you are.
Exactly, I did.
There you go.
Let me know if you need one. But yeah, no, forget about that. And then, you know, I had a lot of encounters about like, I would not promoting the light and purification. You know, we're not really new while we're in those shots. We really don't know we're in those shots. So, you know, it's not like a convention of a scene like back on the days that you put the weak virus of cold or something and then you create your own. There's something strange in there. But anyhow, yeah, so yeah, I didn't got to do the Vipassana, maybe another time. But don't worry if you took the shot, guys. You have the power to heal yourself, and of course, if you practice meditation and healing and good diet, you can always. I think each 3 months you have a new body. You know, you can like just new cells and new everything. Just don't wanna, you know, criticize anything, but this is what happened when I was going to do the Vipassana, right? But I had another student here from Brazil. She decided, so actually a few, but one of them, every Friday she would just have watermelon the whole day. It was like a day of fasting. The other day, this other Brazilian girl, she will come here to practice and she will put a label. She's like, I'm practicing silence today. I am Carolina, right? So she will not talk. So she will come and she will have that label here. And then we're like, okay, got it. And she will not talk. So she will take a whole day without talking. So this is important too. Like if you talk a lot, right? When you're talking, you're putting energy out, 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 out. So when you recharge, right? It has to be a break that you just stay in silence and just let the throat nourish again. And then, yeah, the way that you communicate, the tone of your voice, and of course, if you use, you know, sharp words or more words of kindness, of understanding, that's also going to relate with the chakra here. And also, that's going to also be how you transmit the information that you already know. You know, because again, maybe you are super smart and you have all this information and you're cocky about it. You know, you're like bossy about it, cocky about it, or, you know, I am, and, you know, that's also this balance in the way. So you should be able to receive and express in a peaceful and harmonious and loving manner. And again, that's an art, because now we're all kind of like trying to be more aware and in this awareness environment. But what happened when you have the 3 kids, the dog, and then you start yelling to the kids, pick up your things, and then all of a sudden this is all go wild. And guess what? That can create a trauma right there, you know? Now you're not good for nothing. Oops. Was 1 second. Was 1 second of being unconscious. And that memory stay on that kid or whatever, and then you're going to start becoming an adult when you are pleasing everyone. or being super productive, because back on the days when you were 8, your mommy yelled at you, you're not good for nothing, because she didn't got any help. You were a kid putting the toys everywhere, and she just lost her throat, and that went like a weapon inside your cellular memory. And now, because you heard that you're not good for nothing, now as an adult, you gotta be busy 24/7. Are you there? And then please everyone.
Please.
Yeah, you know. So I mean, I'm not an advanced anything, I would say, but I'm studying this more and more, because if you want to promote wellness and healing to others, not only you gotta heal your stuff, but also you start articulating this better. Okay, wait a minute, this is coming from here, right? And so, you know, I told you one of the things that I'm trying to control is the cursing. You know, I'm honestly, between the Italians and the Argentinians, it's almost natural. Like telling someone to fuck off is like good morning, but it's not really, and it shouldn't be like that. We just got this cultural thing where like and then all of a sudden you just curse a bunch of stuff, and so I'm trying to, and that became much better. Let me tell you, you know, and you know, and I also learned to say no, because a lot of times I wasn't available to talk to people for whatever reason. Let's say I'm drained. And then because of that trauma, I will put myself, okay, they need help, I want to help them. And now I will say something like, you know, I really want to hear and talk to you, but I'm really not available right now. Can we make a meeting? Can we make an appointment? Maybe like, how about Wednesday morning? Is that better? And then we can talk more, and I will be present for you, you know, let's say. And then before it wasn't like that. So I was already super drained, super exhausted, and here I'm having a conversation where I don't want to have. And then the words are not that nice. I'm not that nice. And I'm actually like, okay, I'm gonna get out of this quickly. And then becomes, in a way, a violence for the person that is hearing my speech, because I'm just like, you're annoying the shit out of me right now, because I am already annoying. I just don't, you know. So it becomes all this like a snowball of unnecessary. So just say no. Not right now. I'm not available. Let's, you know, give me a few days. I don't know. So, and then the color is blue. I told you that my Reiki master will make me charge water with a blue glass on the sun and then drink it. Of course, another way to balance the chakra, besides telling your truth, finding the loving words to speak your truth, even when they're not very nice, you know, when you need to talk about something harsh, you gotta say it, you gotta say it somehow, you know. Is singing, right? If you want to balance this, let's say you have suppression, things are there, not coming out. Maybe the act of singing can help to open this chakra, you know. And you don't need to be a perfect singer. I'm definitely not a perfect singer, but it does something to my energy centers. I feel my heart opening. I feel like I can communicate better. It like changes my mood, right? I feel like more, okay, now I'm like a better receiver, right? So yeah, that would be another one. Of course, if you can even chant mantras, it would be even better. But any type of singing that elevates your heart, it would be good. All right, and let's just move forward. The sixth chakra is the Ajna chakra. This is between your eyes. It's called the third eye, or the eye of Shiva. This is the mystical eye. This is where we develop clairvoyance and intuition. And like I said, we all have those superpowers. We just didn't use them as a child. As an adult, we become more rigid. It's harder to assess them, but you still have them. So you can definitely develop them, the ability to see the future before it happens, or have that gut feeling, like I know this, that, you know, you just know it, and actually you do know it. You know, the phone rings, you know who it is. You think about that person and they show up in your door, they give you a call, right? So it's a special power, and we can develop more and more, right? So this here the color says indigo. I use violet or purple. So I use a violet flame for the third eye. Another way would be visualizing the symbol Om between the eyes. This is where Shiva and Shakti make love of yoga. They unite themselves. You know, the super consciousness and your material body. And yoga poses would be all related. Oh, sorry, we didn't did the yoga poses for the throat. The throat would be, sorry about that, the fish, the camel, shoulder stand, Jalandhara Bandha, anything that opens and closes the throat, okay? Sorry. Yeah, I think that puppy pose, yeah, the one you put the neck down, yes, that's a good one. So anything that moves that. And for the sixth chakra, I mean, now you are in the head, so all the inversions, head stand, shoulder stand, also, you know, even meditation, child's pose with your forehead down, and Sambhavi Mudra, when you bring the eyes in, Dristi will stimulate this point. We do different, you can do Tratak, very nice for this, which is gaze into the light, in this case fire, a candle. It can be we're going to do one day later at 6:30 a.m. for the sun, you know, sunrise Tratak. So that will stimulate this third eye. This is connected, I think we also mentioned, with the pituitary and the pineal gland, they're kind of like connected there. And the pineal gland, it stops working when you're 20 years old and start becoming calcified. That's why when you use products, you should avoid fluoride, because the pineal gland is the door of enlightenment. This is when you can see the spiritual world. Now, like you can feel, now you can see the divine in everything. You can have this super sensitivity, you know, perception. But the pineal gland gets calcified by all those products. So they put fluoride on the water, they put fluoride especially on the toothpaste. So you can make your own toothpaste or buy in Whole Foods or Trader Joe's without the fluoride. You can make one with coconut oil, baking soda, and mint oil. But yeah, be careful if you want to like have this intuition. You definitely want to be away from those products, let's say. And yeah, maybe you do develop those psychic powers, you know, when you start having lucid dreams, you just see things. And when I was a child, that happened to me. When I became an adult, it then stops. Sometimes I have it if I'm super relaxed, but when I was a child, let's say I'm playing with my toys, and all of a sudden I see a whole movie of events, like to detail, just like a movie, right? 3 hours later, the movie is happening. Or I will see something, and then 2 days later, the whole thing happened, like clairvoyance. But I was a child, and I wasn't so covered up with all those illusory koshas, right? So you can still develop that. And then the last one finally is the Sahasrara. which is the crown chakra, represented by a flower of 1,000 petals that just open. This is the center of cosmic consciousness. This is the samadhi state. This is nirvana. This is union with the divine. The sound is ah. It feels really good when you hum that, actually. And they also have the violet color here. I usually visualize white or golden, or like a shining white. That's what I see when I connected this chakra. And is related to spiritual understanding. This is when you start not thinking that God is like Santa Claus in the top of the cloud far away from you, but actually you and God are actually connected, one in oneness. So it's very powerful to embrace that beyond the theory part. You know, when you feel God within you, right? God speaks through you in many different ways. And again, of course, all the inversions can stimulate that, but more than anything, meditation. When you get into that void moment and you allow yourself just to be in that space of unity. Unity with the higher self, unity with the creator, unity with the source of everything. So now not only you, in your analytical mind, you know that God exists, but you can actually experience what we call God realization, like you feel God inside yourself, like, you know. And that is truly beautiful. This is basically the goal of yoga, the goal of hatha, the goal of tantra. They all share kind of the same aspects, like wake up the kundalini energy and build that energy through the Sushumna channel, you know, around the two nadis, Pingala and Ida, and bring the energy up, 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 up into your chakras until you have this blossom, this bliss in the crown of your head, and you can feel what does it mean to be one with the divine, right? So it has actually a sensation, and all those enlightened masters that were in meditation for many years, they achieved this state. That's why they're just pure joy, pure happiness, pure bliss. It's no desires, is the absence of the senses, is I don't need to eat, I don't need to drink, have sex, or I'm just full and complete. And of course that's advanced. And but you can still, you know, you can build yourself with your sadhana there. That's why we said the sadhana and the yoga is such like a path of sacrifice, right? Because you've been so great for like a year, an incredible practice, and then you had that bad influence and they gave you the alcohol, the drugs, whatever, or you became tamasic and you dropped into the couch or some depression, and then your chakras were already vibrating here, and then you just drop your practice and then they drop. And then you gotta start all over again from zero, basically. Because it's like, you know, the energy is like this snake, it's going to go up, you know? So if you're doing good and you have that tamasic moment, then you just broke that flow. That's why it is not that easy. Not like everyone can become enlightened, everyone has the chakras open, because it takes really a long time. And then just to finish up, we can say that, you know, to compare with the triology, that here will be Shiva triangle, and then we have Brahm triangle, and then Vishnu is on the heart. So when you start opening your higher chakras, which is a upper triangle, when you merge the Shiva bottom triangle with the upper triangle, in your heart, it becomes a Star of David, right? And then you start becoming an enlightened being, full of love, full of kindness, never suffer, just walking heaven and earth.
Yep.
So
That's how I was taught when we were young. The rabbi and the rabbinite taught us always speak from the heart and full of love. Never judge, and God is everywhere.
yeah, because they all say the same thing in a way. That's why also it's so funny, because in the end of the day, why we even have religions? They're all speaking the same. Because
Yeah.
in enlightenment is that one source, one truth, which is based on pure, unconditional love and knowledge, the knowledge of the self. So, okay, we can digest this, and you guys are welcome to come with questions next week. This Saturday and Sunday you have anatomy the whole day, so it will be a little bit dense. So definitely be sure you rest well tonight. And
So we won't be practicing this.
no, so if you wanna, you start at 9 a.m.
So we will
So you
practice
can
before.
practice before, not even like an hour.
Will we eat lunch?
Yeah, you have an hour break. And then today we have a CAP, which is a Kundalini awakening process. So if you never felt those movements, is a workshop for you to feel. And you hopefully will feel, tremblings, electricity, maybe visions. So if you are up to it, I'll be here doing it. I already did it a few times. And sometimes my body moves, shakes. Sometimes no, nothing happens. So if you want to come, it will be at 7. I think it's $65, but don't have a heavy meal. Come like with your empty stomach. Because, in the end of the day, we want to have Kundalini awakening somehow.
Now tomorrow for me, I just log in exactly the same way.
Yeah, I will let you know. I will be here teaching, and I will connect to the Zoom for you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Namaste.
So let's do an Om Shanti mantra to finish. Thank you guys. Namaste. Thank you for your extra attention. I will see you tomorrow on the screen. Thank you for being here. Bye, Berta.